Hey everyone, it's Sunday, November 13th, 2016 at 1:53 p.m. And I found a list of really great questions on this article that I found on Huffington Post. Um, Something like, it's called The Lazy Person's Guide to Trans Empathy, and it says, why don't you ask better questions? And there's a list of 31 questions that are a little deeper than when did you first realize you were trans? When did you come out? How did you know? So I wanted to answer a few of these questions because I think some of them are really good. And I haven't picked out the ones I'm going to answer, so I'm just going to go down the list and see what stands out to me. So, okay, I like this question. Describe the first friendship you made as you after you came out. The first friendship I made after I came out was with this one cis guy that I met at my job. I'm not friends with him anymore, but whatever. So basically, he would always come into work and he would always sit in my section because I was a server, and we would talk and stuff. And one night after, like when we were hanging out at the bar, I was like, "Do you want to hang out and like get a drink?" And he was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And like we went out and we had drinks, and like he didn't know I was trans at the time, but I was afraid that he was gonna like, because just our interactions, I was afraid that he was gonna start getting like a crush on me. So like I think was it the first or second time? Maybe it was the first. I think it was the first time we hung out, or maybe the second time. I was like, okay, I need to come out to him just so he knows like what the fuck is going on. And so I came out to him and he was like super supportive and was like, okay, great. Like, I think it was the day that I just started hormones. No, it was the day before. So I met him on July 8th. So it was before I even started hormones, and I was like super feminine and all that shit. And so yeah, he was the first friend that I made. It was a cis male guy, and it was really cool to be seen as a guy by another guy. So that was a really great experience. But like I said, unfortunately, we're not friends anymore. But that's okay because I've made plenty of other friends as me. Um, how did your friendships change once you came out? Both friendships you made and friendships you've had before. Um, well, I'll just focus on the friendships that I had before and how that changed after I came out. Um, I can't. I came out to my best friend Bree after I came out. No, it was before I came out to my dad and sister. Um, and our friendship hasn't really changed that much. She says it has, but like personally, I haven't noticed any change except I've always been really protective over her. But like I feel like as a guy, like I'm more protective of her when it comes to relationships and dealing with other men because I don't want her to get hurt, and I just don't want her to waste time with stupid people that are like either not interested in her or I think are going to hurt her or just like looking to have sex with her. So like our relationship has kind of changed in that sense that like I feel more protective over her, but I mean she completely loves and accepts me for who I am, and is respectful of my identity. My other friends were completely accepting. The only problem that I had was with one person who I removed from my life for lack of better terms because before I was even sure that I was trans and I was just beginning to question my identity, I had expressed my concerns to him, and he basically told me, to like not worry about it and to just like go along with my life and stop trying to label everything. And then when I told him that my birth name when I told him my birth name wasn't fitting me anymore, he laughed in my face and made fun of me and told me that if I was going to start going by Rylan, that I had to call him, what was it? Something ridiculous, like something with like the word queen in it or something. I don't remember. So he laughed at me and didn't take anything I was saying seriously. And it was really hurtful because he was an African American gay man who just completely turned tables on me and told me, oh, he wanted me to call him Beauty Divine. He said, if I'm going to call you Rylan, then I'm going to call you Beauty Divine. Then you have to call me Beauty Divine. And that was really hurtful. And he would like make jokes, you know, like because at this point I wasn't like, you need to start calling me Rylan, but I think there's going to be a time in the future that my birth name isn't going to fit me anymore. So that was a hard relationship to lose. Sometimes I still think about him, but I don't know what there is to salvage after that relationship, after being really disrespected and being told that like how I identify doesn't matter and is taken as a joke. So that was the only bad experience that I had. Everyone else that I met when I'm trans, like after I was out, is like cool about it, obviously. Who disappointed you the most when you came out to them? That guy. Him laughing at my face at a bar when I told him I wanted to go by a different name was extremely hurtful. Who surprised you? Probably Bree, because I was texting her and I was like, we really need to talk. It's something serious. I was like, I'm not pregnant. I don't have cancer. And she lives in Florida, and she texted me. She's like, are you changing your gender? And I don't know how the fuck she knew this, because at this point I had chopped off most of my hair and I started dressing a little differently. Like I hadn't seen her in person in like a year, so this is all off of Facebook. And so she knew like right away, without me really even having to say anything. And you know, I think she kind of had a little hard time with it in the beginning, especially when I said I wanted to change my name. But the fact that she knew was like crazy, because I remember I just typed ... back because I was in such shock. I like I didn't understand how she knew that, so she really surprised me. Has your identification changed since you've come out? No. I my voice got really high. I still identify as FTM. Um, you know, I've questioned in the past whether or not I'm non-binary, because there are still parts of me that feel very feminine and that just connect with being feminine. And I don't feel 100% male, I guess. But I don't need the label of non-binary for me to be me. That's fine that people are non-binary. Do you? But personally, I don't need to change my label or anything. I don't need to change my label or anything, because I'm me. There are parts of me that are still feminine, and like I've become okay with that. I wear leggings. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like you know what I mean? I don't really care. Um so yeah, my label hasn't changed. The only thing that might have changed is my label for my sexuality, because now that the term pansexual came out, I have a love-hate relationship with that word, because I don't know why we need another label for sexuality, to be honest, because I've always identified as bi, but I guess since I've come out, I've embraced the label pansexual a little more than I did before, because I didn't even know about it. Um, in your current life, do you have to tell people you're trans? Yes. Why? Because I do not pass. To tell people at jobs that I'm trans. If I go into a job interview, I need to tell people that I'm trans, so they know what uniform and bathroom I'm going to be using. I, I mean, I don't need to out. Oh my god, I'm bleeding. I don't need to out myself if I'm like going to the bathroom or anything, because I've had top surgery. But like, yeah, I definitely need to explain my identity to a lot of people at this point in my life. Like, I can't be stealth or anything. I'm not passing as cis. So, yes. Jesus, that's a dark question. Fuck. Not going there. When was the first time you felt someone really got you? That would have to be when I met, because this ties into another question on this list. Who was the first trans person you met? The first person I met and then I felt really got me was this guy named Ashton that I met on Tumblr who lived a few counties away from me back in Wisconsin. He's FTM as well. And it was just, we met at Panera for the first time, and it was so cool to be able to discuss dysphoria and packing and binding and being misgendered and all this shit, because he was 6 months ahead of me. I was 1 month on T, and he was 6 months on T. And I actually have a video with him on my YouTube. It's called Two Trans Guys from Wisconsin. So if you want to watch that, that's me and Ashton. But I felt like he just understood everything about me because he's also biracial. So we were two biracial people living in Wisconsin who identified as transgender males. And it was just so nice to have this like common vocabulary with someone that understood exactly what I was going through. We don't really talk anymore, but you know, I'm really grateful for his friendship because he really helped me get through a really horrible time in my life. A really horrible time. He taught me how to tie a tie. So I'm really grateful for that friendship because that helped. That definitely helped me feel less alone. And then I came to New York and like half the people I hang out with now are trans. So, yeah. So I think those are all the questions that I want to answer. Okay, one more. What's something you hope to do for a young trans person growing up that you wish someone had done for you? I hope, and this is why I make YouTube videos in the first place, I hope that I can inspire some hope in the sense that no matter how you identify, that your identity is valid and that you matter. And that no matter what shit you're going through, no matter how traumatic your life might be right now, the things that have happened to you in your past, that like you are a strong, beautiful person and we need you on this earth. You can change someone else's life. Like, you matter. So I wish someone would have told me when I was first coming out that like my identity was valid and to not listen to the people that are going to try and tear me down and tell me that I'm not a man. Because I think that's really important when you're first coming out and realizing that you're trans, to realize it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to question. It's totally fine to be confused. Gender is fucking confusing. It's a spectrum. It's huge. It's vast. It's really confusing. So I wish someone would have told me it's okay to be confused. You'll figure it out. I guess that's the main thing, that you'll get there. You want to figure it out right away when you start questioning, but sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes years. But eventually you will know, and then when you know, things get a lot easier. It's still going to be hard, but things will get easier. So, all right, thanks for watching.